Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. We're just jumping back into things with the rental team that I've been using for the last couple of days. Like I mentioned, I'm planning on using this until mid next week, where I want to switch to a brand new team, and you guys have been giving me pretty cool suggestions and comments for what you'd like to see, so if you have any more, definitely let me know in the comments section below. In addition, I mentioned this in yesterday's episode, but I'm going to be in Madison this weekend for a regional championship there. I'll be commentating it, and you can watch the live stream at pokemon.com/live. There are two regionals going on this weekend, one at Madison and one in Birmingham over in the UK. And these are pretty important events because there aren't that many events left for the season. And so at this point, if you are the players that are trying to qualify for the World Championships, it's definitely getting super intense, and so the race is getting close. And so, like, a lot of top players will be attending both of these regionals to try to either secure their invites or put themselves in a good position. But we're going to find Black VGC from Italy with a rating of 1606 to kick off this episode. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. Black VGC is running a team of Porygon, Tapu Fini, Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Gigalith, and the coolest thing on that team, the Salazzle. So that's really interesting. So typically I like to go Garchomp, Aerodactyl. Here, maybe you could make a case for Raichu Koko. Because even if Fini comes out, I can just Specs Thunderbolt, and I do have the Z move. Wow, my opponent picking a team really quickly. Like, typically against these comps, I like to go Aerodactyl, Garchomp. Maybe I shouldn't deviate from that. Yeah, you know what? I'll stick to my normal game plan, which is Aerodactyl, Garchomp, Buzzwole, Koko. Alright. Just because I have some experience with that against these comps. Like, basically, that team composition is very common. The only difference is with Kartana over Salazzle. So kind of cool to see Salazzle there. Normally, I consider bringing Celesteela because it matches up quite nicely. Against the Gigalith and Porygon, but Salazzle is kind of annoying. We just see Salazzle Fini. Okay. Yeah, Raichu Koko actually would have been so nice here. But it's not like Garchomp Aerodactyl is the worst. Okay. So you'd imagine there's a fake out coming out in a Garchomp. Could just go into Aerodactyl as well, obviously. I don't see much downside. There's no Arcanine on that team as well, actually. Yeah, sorry. Typically, you'll see Arcanine over. That's actually kind of a big deal. Because it means I can't get intimidated right now. So I don't know how fast Fini is. That's the main concern. I don't know if my Buzzwole's faster. I think I'd like to Tailwind here. And... no. I Rock Slide Earthquaked. I think that's okay. Yeah, so Fake Out comes out. Okay, it does target down Aerodactyl. That was also what I thought might happen. So Earthquake will bring Salazzle down to its Sash if it has one, or just knock it out outright. Yeah, there's the Sash. Fini looks pretty bulky. I mean, Finis are bulky most of the times. Flinch, Moonblast. To Garchomp? Yeah. I don't survive that. Okay. That's okay. Because now I can just bring in Koko, yeah. Although I do wish I could, like, discharge next to myself. Like, discharge Rock Slide. Yeah, I really wish now I went Raichu. Koko. That probably just would have been smarter. This isn't too bad, though. Could be worse. Yeah, I think I will just Rock Slide here and Thunderbolt. Fini could protect here, so I'm going to Thunderbolt Salazzle since Aerodactyl's fast. I guess Salazzle could protect too, but I feel like the chances of that are kind of slim. Fini switches out. With Porygon, okay, that's fine. Just to switch up the terrain, makes sense. See if Salazzle actually protects. Oh. That's cool. So, we actually saw Snatch on Road to Rank the other day. It allows you to steal an attack. That's okay though, I'll take this turn because I get the knockout. It doesn't actually steal anything since I didn't go for like a Tailwind, and I get a free Electric Terrain Specs boosted Thunderbolt against this Porygon, which actually does so much damage, wow. Yeah, that's why Terrain Wars matter so much when you're running Specs Coco. Okay, so Feeny comes back in. Resetting to Terrain. Honestly, I like making a safe play here of just taunting the Porygon and Thunderbolting Feeny. Because that means, like, Porygon can't get much offense off him. Yeah, we don't see it Protect. So with Specs, I'm pretty sure Thunderbolt should knock out Feeny unless it's Wakam for some reason. And now I can knock out Porygon next turn. And I do have Steel in the back. Or sorry, Buzzwole in the back to deal with Gigalith if it's Gigalith coming in here. And yeah, nice. So Porygon does try to go for a non-attacking move. And it's Celesteal in the back. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that's really good. I did learn my lesson. I can't Sky Drop that. So yeah, with that, I'm just going to Rock Slide and Thunderbolt. Yeah, no Protect. So even if Celesteal protected, Porygon can't knock out either of my Pokemon, and I Rock Slide 2 shots Porygon, and I could flinch, and even if it does critical hit me, I still have Buzzwole in the back with the Z move. So, no Gigalith coming out here, and Taunt really shutting things down. And yep, we just see an Ice Beam come out. Targeting the Coco, so yeah, even if there was a critical hit, since my opponent didn't have return, that was pretty much game. Nice! Basically, Coco was really good here. It was able to just come in a position where it threatened everything offensively. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it, to be honest. I'll test the game a little bit more, but Rock's like knocks out Porygon there. Yeah, so the turn where Feeny switched out, like Coco came in a perfect position next to Aerodactyl because I had the speed advantage. And basically, like typically, I think these teams are a little bit harder to face against when they lead with Porygon just because they threaten Trick Room. And like my team thrives, or this team, the original creator of the team, like it thrives off being able to outspeed your opponent. So when you're faster than your opponent, you're really able to just get multiple attacks off. But when under Trick Room, like this team, if Trick Room goes up against this team, you're in a really bad position. Like it's really difficult to win. I'm not saying it's impossible to, but like it is quite an uphill battle. And so, yeah, if you can deny Trick Room being up, or if Trick Room doesn't go up because your opponent like doesn't threaten it earlier on, then it makes the match a little bit easier afterwards. You're gonna find another Italian opponent, Bossbat, with a rating of 1606. Also, yeah, this is like the standard fake PG composition that we went up against the other day. Of course, that's standing for Feeny, Arcanine, Kartana, Electric type, and then Porygon Gigalith. So, yeah, these comps are everywhere, and you should probably expect to see a fair amount of them over in Madison this weekend and in Birmingham for regionals. A version of it with Now Ego also won the Seattle Regional Championships this past weekend, so yeah, there's a reason why like this core is becoming so popular. Like, it's just really strong. So I might just go with the same 4 as the last game. Like, it's really tempting to bring Celesteal against these team comps. It really is. But Coco and Buzzwole just offer so much offense, and I won that last game because I was able to overwhelm my opponent with offense. So, yep, I'll go with those 4. We'll see. You're also less incentivized to bring Cortana when you see Celesteal on the team. So maybe I can scare away Cortana, because I guess that's... It's not like a major threat. It doesn't one-shot anything, but it's just fast, and it could be Scarfed as well. And I don't have Fire Fang on this Garchomp. And Fire Fang Chomp is one of my favorite sets. Or just having it on Chomp in this format. But let's see. Coco Feeny. Okay. I'll take that. Yeah. So I obviously have the element of surprise with Earthquake on my side right now. And my opponent actually cancels out Electric Terrain, which is always kind of interesting. I'm definitely Earthquaking here because my opponent doesn't have any ground resists. Question is what I want to do with Aerodactyl. I think I want to Sky Drop here. Yeah. Because that covers the Coco protecting option. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So I just get the EQ off for free. Hopefully that knocks out Coco. It could be sashed. No. Ah, I love Scarf Chomp sometimes. Like, Scarf Chomp plus Aerodactyl is such a fun lead combination. Takes me back to 2014. I didn't use, like, Scarf Chomp, but Chomp plus Aerodactyl was really common back then. Leftovers Feeny, okay, good to confirm that. Ryosuke Kosuge actually got top 8 of the World Championships that year with Aerodactyl Garchomp, and he went undefeated in Swiss. Yeah, Aerodactyl was really cool that year. And Arcanine coming in too, nice. Okay, I'll take that. I probably want to switch Chomp out now because I want to bring it back in for free Earthquakes. But you'd imagine it's going to be Flare Blitz. Like, I just don't want to lose either of these Pokemon either. I guess I could just Earthquake. Yeah, because then I get a free switch into Coco, so I'll just Earthquake here. If Arcanine protects, that's fine. Yeah, okay, that's a bit annoying because I expected my opponent to like Flare Blitz Moonblast, making a read. Yeah, so this Earthquake ends up being useless. So I could have switched into Buzzwole or even Coco there. But that's fine, because now I can switch into Coco next turn and I will have the terrain in my advantage. And Skydrop actually still does like an okay amount. I'm going to put a Muddy Waters instead. Okay, maybe expecting or just covering all options. That is a lot. And gets an accuracy drop on Aerodactyl. Okay. That's a little bit scary, but that's still fine, I think. I think I'm just gonna Earthquake here. Do we think it's E-Speed coming out? I'll Tailwind. Because I think Buzzwole plus Coco. Yeah, so we do see E-Speed. That might not knock me out, we'll see. Okay. Does just an... crits me too. Honestly, I think I could have survived that without the crit, which is why I went for a Tailwind. Yeah, so I don't mind my play this turn. Oh, actually, looks like I crit the Arcanine in return. That's really fortunate. And Moonblast comes out. This episode's really fast. We're definitely going to have time for a third game. Yeah, that just knocks out Chomp. I could have played that one turn. Like, Arcanine protecting there was kind of obvious, but I figured my opponent might not want to protect since he did get the Intimidate on me. So with the Intimidate, you know you can survive an Earthquake, and typically Arcanines have the Berry, so I would think like Flare Blitzing there is actually like a safer option, which is why I didn't switch out. Because if I were my opponent, I consider Flare Blitzing and Moonblasting, but I guess Aerodactyl is still big enough of a threat. Or Flare Blitzing and Muddy Watering. Because that might put me in E-Speed KO range. But now I get into bringing Buzzwole and Coco, and those are like two of the best Pokemon to bring here. Especially because I did knock out the Arcanine, and I have full terrain control now. So I do like my position for sure. And it's Gigalith. Yeah, that's perfect. That's very good. So, yeah, all I have to do now is go for the Z superpower. It's not Sturdy Gigalith. So unless it's Sash Gigalith, it should be good. So I'm just going to T-Bolt and go for the Z move. Nice. The critical hit onto Arcanine was definitely a little bit lucky. I mean, he did critical hit my Aerodactyl. I was going for a Tailwind, so actually the speed couldn't matter because I don't know how fast Feeny is relative to my Gigalith, or my Buzzwole. So the idea there is, okay, Tailwind allows me to guarantee to be faster, and Arcanine's the major threat to my Buzzwole. If I get rid of Arcanine, then Buzzwole can sweep whatever's in the back, presumably. It's going to be Porygon, Gigalith, or Kartana, and under Tailwind I outspeed and knock out all of those. So there's the all pummeling coming out from the Buzzwole onto the Gigalith, and that should pick up the one-shot. Nice. Really fast-paced games today, but that's what happens when you use Scarf Chomp because you get that surprise knockout immediately, and like Coco is such a pivotal Pokemon against my team in the sense that it can one-shot or two-shot everything with the combination of Thunderbolt and Dazzling Gleam. But we do end up with another win here, which is pretty nice, and very fast episode, so definitely we'll have time for a third game. Like, one of the reasons why hyper offense teams like this one are kind of fun to use is because, for Road to Rank specifically, you guys do often, like, games go by pretty quickly. Either, like, you know, pretty big stomps on either end where it's like, oh, my opponent sets up Trick Room and then I just get wrecked, or, you know, like, I just get a surprise knockout immediately because of Scarf Chomp. And Scarf Chomp's really cool specifically against this team because it baits out so many attacks where, like, it's like you'd imagine if it was the typical Garchomp, you'd look at it and be like, oh, wow, this is such a good position, right? Like, he's just going to Tailwind Protect turn one, so I can capitalize off that and double into Aerodactyl or something like that. But with Scarf Chomp, like, everyone just, like, doesn't, or not everyone, but, like, a lot of people just don't expect it, and then you just are able to, like, get knockouts, like, consistently really quickly, which makes it very, very fun to use. But, yep, we're just going to look for the third game. Alright, we're going to find Diego from Chile with a rating of 1698 for our next opponent of the day. Diego running a team of Porygon, Coco, Arcanine, Salazzle, it's not a Politoed, that's a Milotic, and a double Wooloo. So very scary team here. Very scary for a lot of reasons, like grassy terrain reduces earthquake damage, a lot of bulk on my opponent's team overall. Coco and Arcanine, obviously. Major threats to Salazzle, as always. How do I want to approach this? Kind of want to sweep with Buzzwole if possible. I think I'll still go Garchomp Aerodactyl. Yeah, you know, I'm just going to stick with what I like the most with this team. Garchomp Aerodactyl, Coco, Buzzwole. Because that covers all offensive options. If Tailwind goes up, then Buzzwole sweeps through everything. Raichu could be decent here, but with grassy terrain, like, I don't do much damage at all. One, like, Tapu Bulu resists Raichu, and you'd imagine Bulu's going to come out in this matchup, so by bringing in Garchomp, I have Poison Jab pressure, and then I also have Buzzwole with Poison Jab. And Salazzle is tempting to bring here, because, you know, you can Leech Seed into the Porygon, the Milotic, the Salazzle, all which are pretty bulky Pokemon, but with Coco and Arcanine, like, I don't feel like I'm, like, normally I'm pretty comfortable bringing Salazzle, even if my opponent has one of Coco or Arcanine, or even both, because Garchomp's Earthquake, you know, just threatens both of them, so that's one of the cool things about this team. But with grassy terrain, obviously, like, ground type attacks do significantly less. So I'm going to still bring Garchomp, but because I know Coco and Arcanine are going to be a lot more difficult to knock out, that means setting up Salazzle will be more difficult, so I'm not going to bring Salazzle here. We'll see. I mean, I feel comfortable enough with my Pokemon choice, it's just a matter of how I play, I think. So Diego's gonna go with Bulu and Milotic. Okay. That's definitely scary. Could be worse. I think what I want to do turn 1 is Poison Jab into Bulu. Because I do have that. And just Sky Drop Milotic. Yeah. So it's like, I could try to cheese my opponent if my opponent doesn't expect the... You have to expect Poison Jab, though. What am I saying? Like, that's just so obvious. I'll still go for it, I think. Okay, let's actually think this through. If... The thing is, like, so Bulu protected, I could switch into Coco. I'd really like to knock out Bulu, though, because it is a major threat to the... Yeah, so I'm just gonna Sky Drop Poison Jab turn 1. Like, I'm not anticipating to getting it off. Yeah, okay, Bulu's gonna switch out. But I do force the Bulu out, which is good. Into Arcanine, okay. That's okay with me. Yeah. Ugh, could you imagine if I Earthquake there? Actually, no, Earthquake wouldn't do that much because of grassy terrain. What am I saying? Oh, I got owned. Scarf Milotic. That's so smart. That was by far the worst case scenario, and that was not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. Huh. Huh. Okay. Yeah, the only better play I could have done there was switching out into Buzzwole and Tailwinding, I think. But I didn't anticipate Scarf, which maybe I should have. Yikes. So I can get a guaranteed knockout on a Milotic if I want here. Do I want it, though? Arcanine could also just switch out into Bulu. But if it does, is that so bad? I could Volt Switch, maybe? No, I don't think that's the correct play. I think I need to cover the Arcanine slot, because I can't take a Flare Blitz to Coco's face. So even if it switches out into Bulu, then I have Sky Drop pressure next turn. So Arcanine does switch out, yeah? Into Bulu. Okay. At least I know it's not Scarf Bulu, which is also a threat. Sky Drop. Thunderbolt. Ah, that actually does nothing. I'll get the Paralysis, which is kind of fortunate. So we know Milotic is Scarfed, so it has the Ice Beam. I think I have to try to sweep with Coco and Buzzwole, so I'm going to switch out into Buzzwole and Tailwind here. Yeah. I don't mind, like, Thunderbolting the Bulu slot that last turn, just because if Arcanine stayed in and just knocked me... Like, if I could knock out Arcanine, that covers my Buzzwole, and Buzzwole has a significantly better time in this matchup. So that play I don't regret too much, just because... Oh, okay, Milotic switches out. That's really good, actually. Yeah, that's super good. Because that burns the Intimidate from Arcanine's end, and I get Buzzwole in, and I get Tailwind up. So I'm not out of it yet, despite how terribly turn 1 played out. Bring in Buzzwole. Throw in. And, ooh, I get a full paralysis too. That's super fortunate. Yeah, so Bulu maybe was going for, like, a grass type attack into Aerodactyl. Now I can definitely Sky Drop. Yeah, so I'm gonna Poison Jab Bulu. Actually, I kind of want to Z-move the Arcanine. Yeah, I'm gonna Z-move Arcanine and Sky Drop Bulu. Arcanine could protect here. That's, I guess, the one fear. But I feel like Bulu might be in more fear right now of Poison Jab. Actually, Arcanine's probably more likely to protect. Yeah, I should have done it the other way. Okay, Bulu switches out. The Porygon. That's fine. So Arcanine protect. Yeah. That was a really good play. I should have read into that more. It was like relatively obvious, but I didn't go for it. I don't think this is the worst case scenario though. I think the damage I do through this plus another superpower should be able to knock out the Arcanine. The only question is, like, there's a lot of great defensive synergy on my opponent's team right now, and that's what's really scary. Actually, yeah, I don't think another superpower will knock out, which is pretty bad for me. Ugh, I threw this. Like, I legitimately was in a really good position, and if I just covered all my options, I would have been perfectly set. Yeah. I also wasted the Z move, because if I Sky Dropped Arcanine and Poison Jab Bulu like I wanted to, I could Z move safely next turn. Does Sky Drop Superpower knock out Porygon? Maybe. I think I have to go for it. Yeah, Arcanine doesn't switch out. Yeah, it's going to go for the Flare Blitz into Buzzwole. I don't think Superpower will knock out Porygon. We'll see. Probably not, though. It's so close. If I picked up that knockout, then I think I'm actually in a decent position. But now Trick Room goes up. Yep, there's the Flare Blitz. Maybe I could have superpowered Arcanine to just pick up the knockout. Basically, the main issue is I wasted the Z move there. And I think I shouldn't have played so recklessly with the Z move. Yeah, so if I actually knock out Porygon there, then I'm fine losing it, because then I have Koko and Aerodactyl against Arcanine, Bulu, and Scarf Milotic. But now I lose the game, for sure. That was really well played by my opponent. Like, I just didn't capitalize enough off the switches, and I needed to predict more, basically. Because I made really telegraphed plays. And sure, I had to, like... Losing Garchomp turn 1 actually wasn't that bad at all, because Garchomp's pretty terrible in this matchup, and I was able to force the Tapu Bulu out. But basically, I needed to really deny Trick Room, and I didn't consider the one possibility of Arcanine protecting Porygon coming in, me wasting my Z move, and then Sky Drop Superpower not knocking out. So that was, like, literally the worst case scenario, and that was just me not telegraphing or thinking of plays, like, in the future far enough. So, yeah. That was just pure bad playing on my end, and so sorry about that, guys. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty screwed here. Might get 4-0'd. Oh, T-Bolt. And Rock Slide. That was really well executed by my opponent. Porygon switches out. Into probably Tapu Bulu. Yep. Makes sense. Although I think you should just recover if you have Porygon out. I wonder if Flare Blitz just one-shots me. Nope, I do survive. But it procs Arcanine's Berry. It was just enough too. Yeah, this is where, like on Nerve, definitely would be a little bit more helpful in Aerodactyl. You do get to scout out abilities with Pressure. I don't know when this QR code team was actually made, so it could have been before on Nerve came out. I guess my opponent's switching out going for the 4-0. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, looking back at this game, turn 1 was really bad. Like, I walked right into that one. There wasn't much I could have done to mitigate that, though. So I'm okay with how I played that. I was in a really prime position to sweep this game with Buzzwole at Aerodactyl Coco, and I needed to deny Porygon coming in, and I like just didn't consider that possibility. I thought maybe Skydrop Superpower could knock out, but I should have anticipated it not to. So yeah, if I just Skydropped Arcanine, Poison Jab the Porygon, then I could have Superpowered and Skydrop next turn, and that would have put me in such a good position, regardless of what my opponent did. Yeah, so I should have saved my Z move. Because the Arcanine Protect was really obvious. I just got greedy and I didn't pick my moves. And I really wanted to capitalize. E-Speed, yep. Can't even protect there. And Wood Hammer. Yeah. Really well played by my opponent. And that kind of defensive team is like what this team really struggles against, and I missed Rock Slide on Arcanine. So, yeah, actually, it did not really matter. I was just trying to see if I could maybe pick up a knockout with a crit. But 4-0 by my opponent. Very, very, very well played. I think it was a lot closer than the 4-0 score indicates. It was just a matter of like 1 or 2 turns on whether Trick Room went up or not. Like I said, if Trick Room goes up against this team, you're really screwed. So, yeah, I needed to deny Trick Room better, and I didn't consider the Porygon switching option well enough. And I should have been saving the Z move specifically for that instead of Arcanine. So, well played by my opponent, but yeah, definitely some exciting games today. That last one, yeah, like those teams are terrifying just because of the defensive synergy. So, like, the way to win against those teams is to really nail them on their switches. So you really need to be able to call switches well enough. In that game, I just didn't do that at all, and so that was my biggest flaw there. So yeah, there were like, obviously turn 1 was pretty bad, but then the major turn where I Skydropped into the Tapu Bulu slot and Z moved into Arcanine instead of doing it the other way around, that was a major misplay, honestly. Just because I needed to cover Porygon coming in. If I do cover Porygon coming in and I do it the other way around, then I'm actually in a perfectly fine position. But that was a really fun episode, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. As always, leave a like if you did. Go check out the Madison live stream this weekend at Pokemon.com/live, and hopefully I get to meet some of you guys there, and I'll see some of you guys there as well. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Alright, peace.